Hi class, in this video, and I'll give you a review of Chapter 6, Risk and Return. We all know high risk and high return, that's true. For example, if you invest in Tesla stock, and then your returns from that Tesla stock should be higher than your returns from your investment in Walmart, because Tesla is more riskier. It's riskier than Walmart stocks. And because we're not so positive about the future of Tesla and about the product made by Tesla. But for Walmart, and it seems like there's nothing to worry about. As long as there's a Walmart, there are lots of people has demand for a good living, and there's Walmart, right? So it's more certain for the future of Walmart as compared with Tesla. So high risk and high return. It's riskier if you buy Tesla stock. You might lose money when economy turns bad, or when the CEO and the company was doing something bad. But on the other hand, if everything is positive for Tesla, and your returns might be very handsome. So a high risk and high return, you have to face the risk and to wait for the opportunities to get a high returns from your investment. That's high risk and high return. Okay, in this chapter, we'll learn how to calculate the risk of Tesla and also to calculate the risk of return, risk of Walmart. And also we'll be doing using a model to calculate the returns of Tesla and Walmart and other stocks. Okay, so if I ask you how much is the risk from your investment in Tesla, how can you answer me to this question? Let me show you some ways to do that. Of course, there are other ways to calculate how risky a stock is, but there's a simple way, and it's a very universal way. I will send this Excel file with the announcement to you as reference. But in this Excel file, what I have here is I collected the stock prices, you see, in the past 5 years. But this is old data. So starting the last date when I was collecting the data is April the 3rd, 2013. So I got the price of Walmart, the stock price of Amazon, stock price Apple, and the stock price of S&P 500. So that could be considered as the last trading day or first trading day of April or last trading day of March stock prices. So, and also I collected on a monthly basis. So this is a month earlier, the last trading day, the stock prices of the 3 companies and the S&P 500. So I repeat this process for the last 5 years. So the first observations I have here is April the 20th, 2012. So I got the stock prices of the 3 companies. Okay, so because that's the only information we can get. And after I got the stock prices and I calculate the return here, for example, for Walmart return in April 2017. So I was using the stock prices. Just assume like you sold the stock on this date for $74.07. You bought it a month earlier for $72.08, and your return would equals to the selling price divided by the purchasing price subtract 1. Okay, so I repeat this process and get and calculate the stock returns a month earlier, and then 2 months earlier. I repeated for Amazon and Apple and S&P 500. So I got stock returns, monthly stock returns for the 3 companies and S&P 500 in the past 5 years. Okay, so I need the return, then I can compare. So we know Amazon is a lot more expensive than Walmart. So you cannot compare by how much money the stock worth. We should compare on the basis of stock returns. Okay, so I got the stock returns. Okay, so what else we can do is we can do some analysis now. So we can do mean. We can get the average That's the average in the past 5 years for Walmart, Amazon, and Apple from 2017 to April to 5 years ago, 2012 in April. So you see, I got the return. I got of the 3 stocks, and I got the mean. So and standard deviation. And you can use to get the mean. You can use average as the command. And as a function, for standard deviation, you can use stdev as the function. And then you can just highlight all the data in the past 5 years, and then to get the standard deviation. And then standard deviation is the risk here. So when we're talking about how risky Amazon is, you can just say Amazon's average return on a monthly basis is 2.57%. Its standard deviation, or its risk, is 7.73%. So comparatively, Walmart standard deviation is lower. So standard deviation of Walmart, Apple is close to Amazon's. Anyhow, the higher the standard deviation is, and the more the riskier it is. So because standard deviation is telling us about the deviation from the mean. So if standard deviation is high, and that means it could deviate from the mean at much higher level on both negative side, which is the loss, which is the losing money from your investment, or also it could deviate from the positive side, which is the award from your investment. So you see, its standard deviation is higher, so it could be it has a wider range for the stock returns to fall in. So it could be a lot worse than the average. It could be a lot better than the average. So standard deviation is high, and that means it's risky. Okay, I will continue. Okay, so I answered the first question. So how to calculate the risk? Standard deviation. Okay, there's a holding period return calculator. So just like, for example, we just did the holding period return for Walmart. You see, you can use the equation, but you can just also use the numbers here. For example, 74.07 is the selling price. We assume this is sold. This is sold in April, and it's purchased for in March, and then there's no dividend. Put 0 here. So you see, holding period return is 2.76. The price depreciation, we use the selling price subtract the purchasing price. This is dollar amount. The return would be use selling price divided by this purchasing price, subtract 1. Or we can use this price depreciation, price change 1.99 divided by the purchasing price, and that also gives us this holding period return. Okay, so but you can just simply use this equation to use the equation to calculate it. Okay. So this is holding period return. Okay. Now individual stock. That's what you can. That's the way you can do that to calculate this stock, to calculate the mean, and to calculate the standard deviation. This is how you can do that. Okay, now if we have a portfolio, for example, you have both Walmart and Amazon, and maybe you have Apple in it, so you have a portfolio with 3 stocks. What can you do? So then you have to consider not only the mean of each stock, standard deviation of each stock, you also have to consider the correlations between the 2 stocks. For example, Walmart and Amazon's correlation, I have a correlation matrix based on the stock returns on the left. So correlation of Walmart and Walmart, it's 1. Okay, but correlation between Walmart and Amazon is negative 0.06692. Negative correlation means when Walmart stock goes up and then the Amazon's price goes down, so they move opposite direction. But Walmart and Apple's correlation is high, is positive, and that means the two stocks move along. Most of the time, stock prices in U.S. stock market move along because it's all driven by macroeconomic data. So U.S. stocks are usually positively correlated, and this is Amazon and Apple's correlation. To calculate the correlation, you see COREL is the syntax to do that. Okay, so you just highlight the stock return of Amazon and comma, and Apple stock return, use COREL command to get it. And for diversification purposes, we want stocks correlation are as low as possible. The worst is the correlations are close to 1. That means the stocks are identical. We want them to be negatively correlated, and the best is the two moves just opposite. One goes down and the other one will go up. So the portfolio's performance will be stabilized. So, and that's the best of diversification. That's the purpose for diversification, to stabilize your return but still maintain the high return. So to do so, you need to put stocks with negatively correlated stocks in your portfolio. If you can do so, you try to keep stocks correlations as low as possible. Here, COREL is the one. But to calculate, for example, you have two stocks. You have Apple, you have Walmart, and you have Amazon. Now, how to calculate the returns of your portfolio with two stocks? So I have given you the equations here. So if you have portfolios, two stocks, so also we need to figure out the portfolio's return. This is the equations to get the portfolio's return. So R is return, P is portfolio, E is expected, W is weight, the weight of each stock in the portfolio. The percentage invested in each stock is weight. And R1 is return of the first stock, and then the portfolio with two stocks, the second stock's weight would be 1 minus W1. And this is the equation to get the returns of the portfolio. Okay, and we also want to know the standard deviations of the portfolio. So it's this is the portfolio's standard deviation, but this row 1, 2 here is the correlation. So you can just plug in the correlation from the Excel template here and plug it into this equation here, and then, for example, correlation between Walmart and Amazon is negative 0.067, and you can just plug into this equation, and correlation would be a negative 0.007. And then you put down Walmart standard deviation, Amazon standard deviation, and then plug into this equation. You can get the portfolio with Amazon and Walmart is how much. Okay, this is a math equation to calculate the correlation, but using COREL in Excel, you get the same answer here. There's also, you see, to get the correlation, we need COV means covariance. This is covariance equation, but we don't have to do so in this class. Okay, correlation equals to -1 and +1. Correlation are between -1 and +1. So so this is general information. Now also there is a calculator here for portfolios. Okay, so here it is. So you can put, like, for example, Walmart expected return is how much? Walmart expected return is 0.71, and its standard deviation is 4.68. And stock 2, Amazon, 2.57, 7.73. Okay, so correlation is negative 0.07, because from this table here, this number. So and then we have to put down the weight, because the calculation requires the weight. For example, we have 100% in stock 1 Walmart, and that means 0% in Amazon, and we can calculate. And also here, the second one is 90% in first stock, and then second stock is Amazon is 10%. So you see, so we calculate the return, expected return, the standard deviation. This is the portfolio standard deviation. So if we have, for example, 50-50, so if we have 50% invested in stock Amazon, 50% in Walmart, so the average return would be 1.64, and standard deviation would be 4.38. So you see, as compared with Walmart, your returns would be increased, but your standard deviations will be reduced. So that's because the correlations between the two stocks are negative. Anyhow, so this is how to calculate it. If it's 30% in Walmart, 70% in Amazon, your expected return is here, and your standard deviation is here. So this is a quite convenient calculators. Okay, so this is the first part of this video. So I'll make the second video to explain diversification. Okay. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.